I found live footage of my family dinner on a security camera. We've all been dead for 10 years. I was browsing random security camera feeds online when I found something that made my blood freeze. Live footage of my family having dinner in our old house. The timestamp showed it was happening right now, but my entire family died in a house fire 10 years ago. In the footage, I could see myself sitting at the head of the table, my wife Rachel serving meatloaf, and my two kids arguing over who got the bigger piece. Everything looked exactly like it did a decade ago. Same kitchen, same plates, same conversation we'd had 1,000 times, but we were all supposed to be dead. I watched myself in the footage take a bite and say, "This is delicious, honey. You outdid yourself tonight." Rachel smiled and replied, "I'm just glad we can all be together for dinner." The kids, 8-year-old Lily and 6-year-old Marcus, were chattering about their day at school. Normal family conversation, except for the burn marks. Everyone in the footage had severe burn scars covering their faces and arms. The same injuries we'd sustained in the fire that killed us. But they were acting like nothing was wrong. I checked the camera location. It was definitely our old house on Oak Street. The one that burned down 10 years ago with all of us inside. The one that was never rebuilt. I drove to the address and found an empty lot with nothing but ash and concrete foundation. But according to the live feed, my family was still inside having dinner. I went back to watching the footage. The conversation was eerily familiar. "Dad, can we have ice cream for dessert?" Lily asked. "Maybe after you finish your vegetables," I heard myself reply. "But I don't like green beans," Marcus complained. "They make you big and strong," Rachel said, ruffling his hair. I remembered this exact conversation. It was the last dinner we'd had together before the fire started. The same arguments, the same jokes, the same everything. But this wasn't a recording. The timestamp showed it was live, happening right now. As I watched, something even more disturbing happened. My past self in the footage looked directly at the camera and mouthed the words, "Help us." Then he continued eating like nothing happened. Rachel did the same thing a few minutes later, staring straight at the camera with pleading eyes, silently begging for help while continuing her normal conversation with the kids. I called Dr. Bennett, my therapist, who'd help me deal with the trauma. "I'm seeing live footage of my dead family having dinner," I told him. "This sounds like a grief hallucination," he said. "It's not uncommon for trauma survivors to—" "No, this is real. I can send you the link." I sent him the camera feed URL. After a few minutes, he called back, his voice shaken. "This is impossible. The footage shows people who look exactly like your family description, but they're clearly deceased. Burn victims. How is this streaming live?" "I don't know, but they keep looking at the camera asking for help." That night, I watched the entire dinner play out exactly as I remembered it. Same timing, same conversations, same everything. But at the end, instead of going to bed like we normally would, my family started the dinner over again. Rachel served the same meatloaf, the kids had the same argument, I gave the same compliments. It was an endless loop of our final meal together. I realized my family had been trapped in this moment for 10 years, reliving our last dinner over and over again. They were conscious enough to know something was wrong, but powerless to break free from the cycle. I watched for 3 straight days. Every night at 6 p.m. the dinner started again. Same conversations, same actions, same desperate looks at the camera. But on the third night, something changed. During dessert, my past self looked at the camera and spoke directly to me. "The fire never ended," he said, while the rest of the family continued eating. "We're still burning, still trapped in that moment. The pain never stops. How do I help you?" I said aloud to my computer screen. "Come home," Rachel said, looking directly at the camera. "Join us for dinner. Complete the family. We've been waiting for you," Lily added, her burned face smiling. "Daddy, why didn't you come with us?" Marcus asked. I realized they thought I had survived the fire, but I hadn't survived. I had died with them that night. I looked down at my hands and saw the same burn scars that covered my family in the footage. The same injuries I'd been ignoring for 10 years. I checked my reflection in my computer screen and saw my own burned face staring back. I hadn't been watching my family from the outside. I had been part of the loop all along, just experiencing it differently. The live footage wasn't coming from security cameras. It was my view from inside the time loop, watching our eternal dinner from my seat at the table. And tonight, I was finally going to remember that I never left.